Two astronomers make a shocking discovery. A comet is speeding toward Earth, threatening to wipe out all life as we know it. As they desperately try to warn the world about the impending apocalypse, they face disbelief, political spin, and the absurdity of a society more concerned with trivial matters. This darkly comedic and thought-provoking satire explores the human tendency to ignore the approaching dangers, leaving us questioning our own priorities and the collective fate of humanity. This is how it all began. At a space station, PhD candidate Kate Dibiasky, a doctoral candidate in astronomy at Michigan State University, discovers a big comet that is going towards the Earth. She wants to celebrate her discovery, so she calls her colleagues, including her mentor, Professor Randall Mindy. But soon after, they find out that the object is far bigger and much more dangerous than they previously thought. In fact, it's large enough to cause a global extinction. NASA will also verify this discovery, so the head of the Planetary Defense Coordination Office, Dr. Teddy Oglethorpe, will accompany Dibiasky and Mindy to the White House, where together they will need to present these findings to the USA officials. But it seems that President Janie Orlean and her son, who is also her chief of staff, Jason Orlean, are not so worried about the problem. So Kate and Dr. Mindy have a hard road in front of them. They will stay in touch with Dr. Teddy, and together they will try to warn the world about the killer planet, which is going to hit the Earth in 6 months and will destroy everything. Again, they will try to arrange a meeting with President Janie, but they will have to wait for her to free up until the next day. Even then, the words of the scientists don't mean anything to the president and her son. Despite telling them how big the threat really is, Janie and Jason take this with reservations, as they think that the scientists' statistics are not 100% sure. So, the final response from the US officials about Comet Dibiasky, as Randall called it, is that it is not such a big deal. Aside from these initial events, Kate and Randall also have private lives. Dr. Randall is married to June, and together they have 2 adult sons. Kate, on the other hand, has a boyfriend named Philip, with whom she has a strained relationship, mostly because she doesn't want to spend time with his mother. Dr. Oglethorpe encourages Kate and Mindy to share the news with the media, so they do it. The 2 scientists manage to arrange an interview on the Daily Rip, the most popular morning show. But before they tell the big news, something else seems to be more important. It's pop star Riley Bina speaking about her breakup with her boyfriend, fellow musician DJ Cello. Both have a live chat where Cello proposes to her marriage. This shows the irony in this day and age, when the yellow stamp news is often far more important than the real issues that occur to everybody. After the news of the reconciliation between the 2 celebrities, Randall and Kate finally go on air, where Randall stays calm, but Kate loses her patience, mostly because of the behavior of the hosts Bree and Jack, who treat the topic very lightly. Their nonchalance will make Kate react angrily and declare to the viewers that they will all die. The critical opinion of the audience will define Mindy's behavior with approval, and on the other hand, Kate will become a subject of negative internet memes. The news about the comet that is any minute closer to Earth stays almost unnoticed, and even Orlean's NASA director Jocelyn Calder denies the danger, even though she has no background in astronomy. After the unsuccessful interview, both return home. Trying to warn the public, Kate and Randall will get arrested by the FBI, who bring them in front of the president in the White House. And how will Janie Orlean change her interest in the comet so quickly? Well, the situation is now different. The president is caught in some kind of scandal, so to divert public opinion from this topic, she will try to use the case with the comet. So she agrees to start a mission where war hero Benedict Drask will lead a team that will have to destroy the comet by using nuclear weapons. In the meantime, Randall becomes a resident guest at Bree's show, and they even start an affair. The world sees how Benedict and the team he's leading are launched into space to face the comet, and while Janie is waiting in the briefing room together with Kate, Randall, Bree, and Teddy, Peter enters the room and calls Janie to come outside. Just a moment later, we see that Benedict and his team are retreating from space, and they have already aborted the mission. And when everyone thought that the US government would make everything to destroy the threat, Peter changed his mother's mind. According to what he determined based on his readings, the comet might be a source of different kinds of wealth materials, so the hit can make many companies, including his own, make huge profits. So they are now ready to let the comet hit the Earth. And even though the 2 scientists are disgusted by this idea, Randall is sucked into the media circus and becomes a puppet for Bash, a big tech company led by Peter Isherwool, which is one of the companies that think the comet should be let to hit the Earth. Soon, there are two wings across the country. The first one spreads the idea in favor of the comet, as they think that the hit will provide many jobs, and the second one fights to destroy the threat. Of course, those are recognized as the bad guys. Even Kate's parents are against her, as they share the opinion of the big multinational companies. While Randall continues to work with Janie's administration, Kate starts to work in a supermarket, but very soon she will get in touch with one anti-government activist named Yule. Randall's wife June finds out about his affair with Bree, and she throws all of his medications at him. And when he finds out that Peter is using drones from Bash to mine the comet, he changes. In his next appearance at Bree's show, he has a real meltdown. He is criticizing Janie's administration, and after this, Bree breaks things with him. The comet now starts to enter the Earth's atmosphere, and Kate makes things out with Randall, who rejoins her with Yule. But as the rest of the world now becomes aware of the threat that their world could be destroyed, a new internet trend called the Launch Challenge becomes viral. Also, leaders of both political spectrums try to profit from all the anger. Many other things happen, like the development of a movie with the actor Devin Peters and Randall's warning the people by saying, "Don't look up." However, the Orlean administration doesn't like this motto, so they organize a concert with Riley and Cello, who perform a ballad called Just Look Up. While Randall and Kate are trying to get help from other nations, Janie and her administration are trying to get funding from countries like Russia, China, and India so they can continue their mission for mining the comet. And time runs out, and there is a zero chance to fight against the threat that threatens to destroy life on Earth. Faced with this, Randall, Kate, and Yule gather with Randall's family so they can share their last meal together. The drones that are sent to mine the comet falter, or they are destroyed. Janie and her son finally realize that their efforts are a total failure, so she calls Randall to tell him that there is room for him and one more in the shuttle where all of the rich people are gathered to avoid the hit of the comet. But Randall declines the proposal, choosing to stay with his loved ones. Janie forgets about her son Jason, who is left to his doom. While the comet pierces the Earth's atmosphere, Randall and the others think about what they got during their life. The comet hits the Earth and destroys everything. The mid-credit scene shows what happens with the 2,000 people who left the Earth before the comet's impact. They land on an alien planet 22,740 years later, ending their cryogenic sleep. They exit the shuttle naked, and they find out that the planet is inhabited by mutant creatures. Suddenly, a bird-like predator attacks and kills Orlean, and starts eating her. Back on Earth, we can see that Jason managed to survive the impact. He is filming himself and declares himself as the last man on Earth. The irony is that he is asking any viewers to like and subscribe to his content.